this team is missing a great all-around in their prime point guard. And that's my biggest issue right now. And I can't help but watch them and think, man, I would have loved to see Jalen Brunson on this United States team. I thought that was a roster miss.
What's going on? It's Keyshawn, and welcome to my show, Undisputed Presents All Facts, No Breaks. On today's episode, we have Fox Sports writer John Fanta to talk about what's going on with our USA basketball team. And joining me up here today in the hot seat to talk about everything else is my son, obviously, Keyshawn Johnson Jr. with a big old afro. Man, what
growing it out. I'm growing it out.
To do what?
I'm going to grow it out, get the tapers on the side. You know, I'm growing a little beard. But no, first of all, happy birthday. Happy belated. It was your birthday yesterday.
Yep.
We found something. Producers got it if you want to roll it real quick.
What y'all doing now?
Yep.
You're the man. Say it. You're the man.
I'm the man.
Oh, my God.
King fires. Touchdown. Keyshawn Worthy.
Jumping me. You see all of them jump me, you idiot.
Let us eat till we fall.
He didn't understand from an adult-like standpoint what I was saying. Next time I'll explain it to him in more elementary terms, and maybe he will understand.
You put your foot right on their throat and don't let up. Hey, man, you better tell him to stop jumping to me.
Thinking about here. Tate comes over, drops his coverage on Anthony.
Look at this dude.
I've never seen a display like that live in a long time.
Play football, fake John Randall.
Hopefully I'll do well.
Got the skinny face, got the vest. What was that vest you had on? That was
an interview. That vest was an interview. I was in TV though at the time. That was when I first got into television, and I had praised. I remember that like it was yesterday. I had praised Terrell Owens. T.O. I was praising
remember
him.
this. Yeah.
And he got mad for me praising him. That's why I'm like, well, let me explain it to him more elementary so he can understand exactly what I was saying.
Yeah.
Because I think it just went over his head. He lost it. And I'm like, dude, I was giving you your props, you idiot. But
Yeah.
that was then.
Well, what did you do for your birthday? Because I hit you up in the morning and you hit me with, oh, it's just another day. I'm not doing nothing. I've seen all your birthdays when you were younger. I'm older now. I'm trying to hang out with you. I'm trying to have a birthday with you. What's up?
I wasn't doing nothing. I was Friday chilling. Saturday I chilled. Sunday I went to the pool. And then that was really it. I was actually watching on Sunday, the whole Joe Biden thing came down. So
Yeah.
I flipped to that, and I was going between Fox News and CNN and MSNBC, just kind of following that. I did that, watched that for a couple hours. Went to dinner down the street. I just was chilling. It's another birthday, boy. It ain't.
I know.
Yeah.
But you had your 50th.
I was 50. I'm not
I know,
50.
You're waiting for 60.
So when I become 60, then I'll have something. Yeah, this was 52. It was cool. I mean, the kids, everybody's gone. I was just chilling.
Okay. Well.
But we talked USA basketball about LeBron James and the U.S. team, and we had John Fanta on earlier to discuss this. So, John, Team USA got off to a little bit of a sluggish start, so to speak, against Germany. They almost lost that one. Do you think the struggling will continue?
Well, I do think that they will continue to have their struggles in terms of they're not going to coast. This is not the dream team, okay? This is not Chuck Daly not using a single timeout in the Olympics in 92 and winning games by an average of over 40 points. They're going to win a game or two by around that, but they have Serbia to lead off the Olympics, and at the end of the day, Nikola Jokic is going to be on the floor, and Serbia plays fundamentally sound basketball. Now, the United States group, it's not particularly strong, but then again, South Sudan wasn't thought to be strong, and the U.S. allowed 100 points in a 40-minute game. So look, I think this team will win gold, but the rest of the world has caught up with the United States in basketball. Make no mistake about it. But you couple that with the fact that right now, I think, guys, there's two things happening. Number one, defensively, this team is disjointed. I mean, they don't defend. They have not defended very well at all. Now, as part of that exhibition games and being able to get up, we're going to find out once the Olympics starts. But, they seem to turn on a certain gear down the stretch in these exhibition games, but they shouldn't be that close. And the spreads would indicate they shouldn't be as close as they've been. This team's defensive effort needs to be a heck of a lot better. But number two is this, point guard play. This team doesn't have a great point guard. Stephen Curry is not what he once was. Against Germany, he goes 1 for 7 from downtown, really struggled to shoot the basketball. LeBron saved the day again. LeBron James deserves all the credit in the world. For the win over Germany, he single-handedly powered his team. But right now, this team is missing a great all-around in their prime point guard. And that's my biggest issue right now. And I can't help but watch them and think, man, I would have loved to see Jalen Brunson on this United States team. I thought that was a roster miss.
Yeah, Jalen Brunson is he's a scoring guard. He's not a traditional point guard. LeBron James and Halliburton, or even Steph Curry, those are the guys that can bring the ball. Pretty much everybody can bring the ball up the court 94 feet if they needed to. But LeBron's the point guard. I mean, that's just what it is. I don't know why they're struggling. I have no idea, other than maybe the rules are a little bit different. They got to get used to having a guy standing in the middle all the time, where in the NBA, you get 3-second violation defensively on the defensive side, where you look at it now, you got big old, you got some big tall dudes standing in lanes, so you don't get an opportunity to drive and kick like you would in a normal NBA setting.
You know what it is, though, Keyshawn? You just summed it up by saying, yeah, LeBron, Halliburton, Curry. But let's focus it in on LeBron for a moment and then look positionally here, right? Jason Tatum, Anthony Edwards, all right? Halliburton as well. And even Curry, you could say this about. These guys are extremely talented. This is an extremely talented team on paper. But not all the pieces are connected. In other words, there's only one basketball. You watch these other teams playing, they're moving the ball. It looks like old school college offense with how they move the ball, with how they cut, with how they screen. The United States has not had that. It's give somebody the ball and have them go one-on-one. Sometimes they'll run a slip screen. Sometimes they'll run a pin down action. They'll do those types of things. But their functionality isn't all the way there, because you do have superstars, but people right now that require the basketball to make something happen. And so do they have the guys to get it done? Yes, they do. They're the most talented team in the Olympics. I think they'll win gold. But they've got to become more connected on both ends of the floor. That's the only reason why I suggest Brunson. And Brunson, if you remember last year, for those who don't, that's all right. He was on the World Cup team. And Brunson understood he didn't have to be the 40-point guy. He said, I'll initiate the offense and be a winner, which is what he's been in New York. He's made the Knicks a relevant winning force. Curry's past his prime. Yes, LeBron's the point guard, but what happens if LeBron were to get banged up at all? What happens? The other elephant in the room is this. Kevin Durant has not played a second in the exhibition games. How will the rest of the team receive Durant when he just puts himself into the game and plays however long he wants to? Is that how that's going to work? He didn't play any of the exhibition games. He didn't put any work in during the exhibition games. What will that look like when he becomes part of this team in the Olympics?
Who do you think needs to step up for the team?
That's a great question. Anthony Edwards is my man. That's my answer here. Anthony Edwards, it's his time. LeBron James has had his time and is the most impactful player on this team. Okay? Make no mistake about it. LeBron James is a coach on the floor. There's a reason why he's carrying that flag at Friday's opening ceremonies. He's one of the greatest athletes in the history of the United States of America. Anybody arguing that is a hater. And so he is extremely vital. And there's nobody that you're going to find that means more to their team in the Olympics in any sport than LeBron James means to his team. I know there's people out there who choose to disagree. Go ahead and choose. You can be quiet as far as I'm concerned. Anthony Edwards, to me, he's got to get into his comfort zone here. We watched it in the playoffs, right? He was superb. He was orchestrating. He was hitting big-time shots. It feels like right now he's battling, I'm on the same team as guys I've looked up to or guys that have run the league in the past. And you're on this team for a reason. You've got the ability. You haven't even hit your prime yet, but you've got the ability. You are an absolute bucket getter. For this team, perimeter shooting is a question right now. They shot 6 of 17 from 3 on Monday. They got outscored on the three-point arc by South Sudan, 42-21. So I look at Anthony Edwards, and I think Tyrese Halliburton's got to give this team more. Those two have got to give this team more here as we go along. And even Jason Tatum's been quiet. He's been quieter than I expected. But my main answer is Anthony Edwards.
Yeah, I think when you look at it, they still got to find, John, they got to find their rotation group, right? We're a week away from the opening night of the Olympics in Serbia, but they got to find the rotation. They got to find the 5 that's going to start and the 5 that's going to finish. And I think Steve Kerr and company are still trying to sort through all that based on just how they're bringing guys in and out and who's getting the minutes. LeBron played the most minutes last night of anybody. I mean, he was in the 30-minute mark. And so when you look at that, come gold medal time, who's going to be the 5 on the floor? That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, and who's going to get it done defensively, right? These teams, they're not afraid of the United States, all right? These teams have NBA talent. We have seen it here recently, with Germany and with the Wagners. That was a Germany team that moved the basketball at a very, very successful rate, that plays the right way, and I thought, put up a great fight. And South Sudan, I mean, Royal Ivy, he should get a job in the States because I'm amazed at what Luol Deng has built there. That is an elite job of building a team and making them relevant here as we head into the Olympics. I'm excited to watch them again in the Olympics. I'm a South Sudan fan. I think we all are, as long as they're not playing the United States. But I couldn't help but get behind what they were doing. But I think that you're right in that they have to figure out their rotation. But that's where the dilemma is, right? You just played 5 games. You played 5 40-minute games. A couple of close ones. But even then, you had situations where you were rolling to a win where you could have gotten some clarity. And I would just say this. They played the 5 games, and I don't think I have any more answers after the 5 games than I did heading into the 5 showcase games. And that's the one area where I'm like, all right, was this an effort thing because they were exhibitions? Maybe, perhaps. But the way that these opponents are going to play in the Olympics, you're not going to be able to take plays off. This is not the NBA regular season. These teams are playing for their country. They're playing hard, and they're getting after it. And they're running full-on sets. Now, they've had longer time to get ready for the Olympics, many of these teams. Whether they had the NBA players or not, it's a different story. But they've had longer period of time to get ready for the Olympics in the United States. But that's no excuse. Right, this is a no excuses program that has put up 4 gold medal performances in a row. So they've got to, the biggest thing that I'm curious about is here, who are the odd men out, and who's the odd man out when Kevin Durant is part of the equation? Because KD is not going out to France to just play 7 or 8 minutes. No, it's one of the best players in the NBA.
Yeah, John, I don't think, John, I had the same conversation with Paul Pierce earlier this morning about the minutes. I don't think any of them is going out to France to play 7 and 8 minutes. I get it. I get it, but they're going to want to play. Nobody's sitting there just to get a medal. They want to play.
It's a great point. But as we all know, you can only put 5 guys on the floor. And I do think it's interesting here. The one, look, all that matters is that they win gold.
Yeah.
And that's all that matters. So however they do it, but you and I both know, we all know here, there will be subplots to, well, who's not playing? I think that there's a world where Jason Tatum or Devin Booker, Booker's not going to get the same level of criticism, but like Jason Tatum's an NBA champion who was king of the world in June. But LeBron, Durant, and Tatum, while they have little differences in what they do, again, the basketball's in their hands to make things happen. So, yeah, I think where I look at it, Key, is you're right. These guys want to play heavy minutes. Of course they do. They're not going to the Olympics for a vacation. You're in the Olympic Village. It's not really a vacation. You're playing for your country. Yeah, they get nice living conditions, but it's 2 weeks in France during your summer where you normally would be in the pool with your family. Having said this, how they figure things out of who's playing, who's not, and how does KD get received? When he's playing double-digit minutes, and if I'm another guy on that team, yeah, I am sitting there saying, well, I know Kevin was banged up, but like he didn't play a single minute of any of these exhibition games, and here I have been putting in the work in games that at the end of the day really didn't matter. I do wonder about that. Steve Kerr's got a lot of on-paper talent, but like we just said, I don't think that I know any more about this team than I did going into the USA showcase before the Olympics.
Speaking of coaching, do you think he should be the coach or there should be someone else coaching?
I think Steve Kerr should be the coach.
Yeah.
So I don't think that Steve Kerr's the issue here at all. I know that there's this world of people out there who say that they think Steve Kerr's there's a sector of people who are like, well, Steve Kerr's been benefited because he's had great players in Golden State and the situation was perfect. I'm sorry, folks. Have you ever seen a coach win games without talent?
Right.
Like you got it. The players make it happen. These are pros. He's going to draw up great stuff. He's going to run great stuff. Steve Kerr's not the issue with this team. His staff's not the issue with this team. It's Mike Krzyzewski was the coach of the United States for quite some time, and he wasn't in the NBA. All right, he was coaching big egos at Duke and one and done freshman at Duke. But let's face it, whenever they had a close call, we never really questioned him because he was Coach K. Mm-hmm. Well, this Coach K, meaning Coach Kerr, he's damn good at what he does. He's not the issue here in my mind. I really don't think he is. You could sit here and if you want to say, well, I think Eric Spoelstra should be the head coach. I'm not going to sit here and argue, and I think that day can come. But Steve Kerr is not the issue here. These are grown men. These are some of the greatest players in the history of basketball. Figure it out. Primarily, in your first Olympic game against Serbia, figure it out defensively. Nikola Jokic is going to do his thing. He's probably going to score 25, 30 points. Mm-hmm. Make him do it on 20 shots, and recognize your personnel. Joel Embiid's been all over the place here, pre-Olympics. Looked better against Germany, but guys, it's been a mixed bag. To me, Anthony Davis is the best front court player on this team right now. I don't really even think it's up for discussion. He's looked great. He's been consistent. He's done his job every time he's in there. So those are some of the hard decisions you got to make. Hey, when you're dealing with a room of big egos, as you guys both know, what did my mom always tell me? I'm one of four kids. And she'd say, what does everybody want for lunch? Somebody in the car is not going to be happy.
Right. Yeah, no, that's true. So the 92 team, it sounds like to me, you would just pick them flat out to beat this 24 team in the Olympics. You think the 92 Dream Team would wipe the floor with the 24 team? That's what it sounds like.
They would beat them. They wouldn't blow them out, but they would beat them. You know why? They play structured basketball. They play together as a unit. That team was like watching synchronized swimming on a basketball floor. Everything is in motion. Everything's together. It was a work of art. Right now, this team has the stars. They've got the stars. But to win at this level and to win against the world, you've got to be able to do it with finesse too. You've got to be able to do it collectively. And at times in possessions offensively, it just feels like give the ball to Edwards and let him rock. Give the ball to LeBron and let him rock. Look at the ball movement here. We're watching these highlights. Now, many of which are on the break, but I'm seeing unselfishness. I'm seeing basketball was a different time. It was a very different time. But I will say this. What hasn't changed about basketball is that if you don't have connectivity, I don't care how athletic or how superhuman you are, and this United States team is more athletic than the 92 team.
Yes.
But that United States team, the Dream Team, had Michael Jordan. And I'm going to and Larry Bird, and the list goes on and on. I'm taking that team over this one because of the way that they played. I haven't seen that way get translated to this team yet. They single-handedly relied on LeBron James, who was outstanding down the stretch on Monday. But I was amazed at a team that had that much star talent. And down the stretch, you wouldn't have known if it was Team USA or if it was the 2007 Cavs who met the Spurs in the finals, and it was all LeBron, doing all the work with Ilgauskas and company in Cleveland. And they were just like, what?
Mo Williams,
Danielle Marshall and Mo Williams. Yeah, they were like, what? Drew Gooden. They're like, hey, let's let him rock. Let's let him go to the hole. It was 4 out and LeBron in, and LeBron was doing everything for them. So I think that's the reason why I would take the Dream Team still, because look at what they did. And maybe this team will prove me wrong, and I hope they do. I'm rooting for the United States. But guys, we're in a different era in international basketball. We all want to see them win gold. But it's a different time right now, and I don't think this team has fully come together yet. I hope that they do in Paris.
John, I'm going to close my eyes, and I'm just going to pick 5 to start. That's all I'm going to do. Give me that. Give me him. Give me him. You know what? Never. I want Halliburton and Edwards on the floor. Give me Bam. Give me Embiid. And give me AD. We're going to roll them 5 out there. That's how confident I am that we're going to bring home gold. Just give me 5.
We'll win gold. We're winning gold. Might have a close call. The group is not great, right? They don't have some loaded, challenging group like when they lost a game a couple of years ago to France and then met them in the final. They don't have France in their group. Now, I think we'll get a United States-France final. I think we'll get a United States-France gold medal game. I think it'll be Victor Wembanyama, right, on one side leading the French. That's going to be theater, Key. That'll be really fun to watch. We're going to be watching. And with Wemby, who knows what France can be in the future years. But for this year, it still belongs to the Americans. The United States will win gold.
Oui.
Hey, going back to the international play just getting better, you think the Dream Teams would be able to dominate today?
I'll tell you what. Now I'm going to say I don't think that they'd be able to just dominate.
Yeah,
today.
No timeouts and all that stuff. I don't think that's happening.
No, they would have to. We're in a different time with the game, right? Right? We're just, the game moves faster. It's got a different vibe to it. Coach Daly would have to use a couple of TOs here and there. I still take the Americans to win gold, but they're not winning their games by an average of 44 points. Those days, if this Americans team does that, it means that they have put everything together. But we've yet to see it. You beat South Sudan, right, by a point. You survived. You were very fortunate to win that game. Germany went very similarly. So, but I'm still taking the 92 team. As different as it may have looked, as basketball looked back then, I still love that team, and I love those players too much to go against them. I'm not betting against the Dream Team. No way.
All right, man. Thanks a lot, John, for joining us on the show.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, fellas. Thanks for having me.
So, yeah, thanks, John, for joining us. It looks like at 40, LeBron is the best player on the court still. Does that surprise you?
No, it doesn't. I mean, he's a elder statesman. He knows what to do. He knows how to play basketball. And when you get late in games, he's the one guy. If you think about when he took his team, when he was in Cleveland, he was young, and it was him by himself, basically. I mean, he had a bunch of me's and you's out there he's playing with. And he took his team to the final, although they got swept. Mm-hmm. It was all LeBron. He knew, turn it on. But you could say that for any of these 13 or so guys that's on the court for the most part. They are the closers and the leaders of their basketball teams. I mean, whether it's Steph Curry, whether it's LeBron, KD, whether it's Book, whether it's Tatum, they're all Embiid, they're all the closers. And LeBron just, the last 2 games, just decided he was going to do it himself. Now, do I think over the next 6 games or so that you're going to see it that way? No. Because early on, Ant-Man and AD got down earlier in the games that they were playing in. Then all of a sudden, Bam had a nice stretch. Then Curry went crazy. He was like 6 or 9 from 3. So I think they just going to take turns in the end and see who's got the hot hand. And right then and there, those last 6 or 7 minutes of the game, it was all about LeBron.
Do you think the other players are just like, oh, it's LeBron, and he's probably just like, yo, give me the ball? Or it's...
No, you could tell he's, first of all...
I feel like all of them could probably do that.
Than everybody on the court. So he's playing bully ball. Big, strong. He gets to his spots, up and under, great footwork. He knocked down the big 3. He in transition, he got back on defense. He had a steal. Mm-hmm. I mean, all these dudes could do that. I just think that moment in that time, the last couple games, it's just been about LeBron.
And the fact that he's 39 is insane to me. But he's been chosen to be the flag bearer for the 2024 Paris Olympics. He's the first men's player to ever do it. What do you think of this? You think it's a good choice?
Yeah.
It's like, who else,
fine.
right?
Who else you going to... I mean, when you start talking about from a history standpoint, he's got to be the oldest Olympian on any of the U.S. teams. He's got to be. Yeah. Who else is on there?
I mean, maybe a vet, but like someone that's actually really
that's really good, that's really doing it. He
might be the oldest in general.
He got to be the oldest. Yeah. He's 40 years old.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody 40 years old running no damn track.
Yeah, no one was doing that. Like,
I don't think in the 40-year-olds in volleyball. I mean, like, it's got to be LeBron's got to be. So it just makes sense. It's LeBron freaking James.
Yeah. So women's basketball, Team USA women's basketball, which includes Brittany Griner, Taurasi, Asia Wilson, Sabrina Ionescu, just lost to Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, and the WNBA All-Stars. So do you think we're sending the wrong team to the Olympics?
No, they was out there messing around.
You think so?
100%.
I think.
They're going to wipe, just like the men, they're going to wipe the floor with them teams. It's the same thing. Think about the select team almost beat the American men's. The American men, I think, beat them by 1 point, the select team, when they played them. So.
Do you find it crazy that Caitlin Clark's not on the USA team?
No, I don't find it crazy at all. Paul Pierce is in outrage. I'm not.
She's
not better than the girls that's there. She's not.
But we got to think of like.
What are you thinking of?
I don't know, just like exposure.
They already getting exposure. It's NBC.
Yeah, but I feel like they're getting a lot of exposure because of her, no?
Yeah, she is a combination between Angel Reese, her, all the other girls that's playing, and shoe in right when they have television rights are up, they're spending money, the advertisers are spending money, the game popularity has grown. It was already on the growth.
I agree.
It was already there. She can play in 2028, man. She went through a deep run into the NCAA final. Okay? Then she missed the Olympic tryouts, so to speak.
Yeah.
She missed them.
So that's like the main reason.
Yeah, she missed them. She didn't even participate in it.
Yeah.
So she doesn't participate in it. You just going to put her in it? Okay, well then you got to put Angel Reese in. And then you got to put somebody else. You know, it's just like it's too much. Those individuals that's in there that's playing right now, she's not better than. She's just not.
I mean, they beat them. So,
I don't care about that. That doesn't mean anything.
Who do you think's going to be Rookie of the Year in that league? Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark?
It's going back and forth game to game. Angel Reese went to Vegas, had a double-double. After she didn't have a double-double, she ran off like 14 or 15 in a row. Then she missed. Then she went to Vegas against Aja Wilson, got a double-double. Then the next game, Caitlin Clark played in. She had like 19 assists, 25 points, 19 assists, so she went crazy. So I think it just goes back and forth. So, you know, at this point, the midway point, so to speak, even though it's probably slightly not necessarily midway, you're going to get my vote to Angel Reese right now. Because I think when she's on the floor in the plus categories, she just does, her team wins, it seems like to me. Like they're winning, where Caitlin Clark is putting up the numbers. She's shooting poor from three. She's in the low 30s, high 20s in the percentage as far as her percentage goes. She's in the league because of the logo threes. That's what she does. Mm-hmm. But she's not shooting it well. She's shooting the most, but not landing the most. Where Angel Reese is in the WNBA because everything she does is right in the box. It's the rebounds, it's the defensive effort, it's the putbacks, and she's doing that. So I'm voting on her if I had a vote right now.
Okay. So NFL news, NFL training camp kicked off this week. Packers quarterback isn't practicing, Jordan Love. He wants a new deal. What do you think? You think he deserves one after one playoff win? Or
yeah, he's going to get a new deal. They're going to get it done. They have to get it done. You don't mess around with your quarterback. And the Packers identified their guy when they drafted him 4 years ago and said he's going to replace Aaron Rodgers. He led them to the divisional round of the playoffs, did wonders. And at the end of the day, here's a guy who now is looking at another player in Trevor Lawrence who just got crazy money, who to me, you know, if you just saying, is he like that? I don't think he's like that. I think he's a good quarterback, but he shouldn't be the highest paid quarterback in the league.
Yeah, Burrow and Lawrence are at 55, Goff and Herbert are at 53. So what do you think Jordan Love would
Man, give me in the 55 somewhere. I'm good. That's all you got to do if I'm Jordan Love. Just put me where those guys are, and we can have a conversation.
I feel like he has a lot of leverage too. Like who's their backup? Michael Pratt.
They want to sign him though. They want to get him his money.
Exactly.
They're not playing the Dak Prescott game with him. They want to pay him, and so they just got some small details to work out. His deal will be done. What is this, Tuesday? His deal will be done by Sunday.
Do you find it weird that guys have one decent season and they want a contract, or it's like,
why should he play for $13 million when others are playing for way more money
and barely making the playoffs?
Yeah, like, oh, come on now.
I hear you. So Chiefs, did you see the clip of Mahomes and Xavier Worthy? He threw like a 70-yard dot to him?
No, I did not see that clip.
Okay, well, let's check it out. Sheesh.
Wow, that's crazy. Stay on your feet,
2.0?
Man. You know, that is interesting. He could be a Tyreek 2.0. He's a lot smaller, very, very light in the pockets, thin, rail thin. Tyreek is more compact, you know, but yeah, that speed.
Tyreek's like buff.
That speed is going to hurt a lot of defensive teams when you got Hollywood Brown and Xavier Worthy out on the I don't know what Rasheed Rice, what's going to happen to him. He may miss some games, but you got them on the perimeter lifting the coverage for Rasheed Rice, for Kelsey. Their offense is going to be explosive, no question about it.
So Chiefs are co-favorites to win the Super Bowl, plus 600 with the 49ers. Who you got right now?
I'm going to take the Niners. I'm going to take the Niners between those two.
No, out of everyone.
Oh, out of everybody?
Out of everybody. Those are just the favorites.
I don't know. Out of everybody?
Mm-hmm.
I think San Francisco's going to get there.
Ravens.
I don't know about the Ravens this year.
You're off the Ravens now?
I think the Jets got an opportunity and a chance. Obviously, Kansas City.
Oh, they're going to love that. The Jets.
Philadelphia in the NFC.
Yeah.
Green Bay, Detroit. Those are probably the 8 teams that I look at.
For sure. So who are your top 5 receivers right now in the league? You give me yours, and then I'll give you mine.
The top 5 receivers in the league. I feel like I do this all the time.
Yeah.
Devontae Adams.
Who we out on the show 2 weeks ago.
Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Tyreek Hill, A.J. Brown.
Okay, we're kind
somebody's going to be left off the list. They're going to see the list. They'll tweet at me. They'll be mad at me because they'll get left off the list. What do you know? You just hating. I mean, all that. So,
all right, well, tell me if you like my list. All right, I got Tyreek Hill 1, Justin Jefferson 2, Devontae Adams 3, A.J. Brown 4, Mike Evans 5.
That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, Jamar Chase isn't on there.
I got him at 6, but we said top 5.
Yeah, but that's...
And then Amon-Ra 7. Once you get to
somebody's going to be mad.
Yeah.
And mine ain't necessarily a number. You just said top 5. I didn't give a list.
Right.
Because I wasn't thinking about it, but somebody's going to be mad. They always mad.
CD
Lamb. I mean, they going to always be mad.
Yeah, but speaking of CD, are there any predictions for the Cowboys this season? What do you got their record being? Collins said 10-7. I say 11-6.
I'm more in the 10-7 type. I looked at the schedule. It's hard for me to get them to 10 wins. But, I got them at 10-7.
Why? Is it because of Dak or
no, it's just
defense?
Hard. They play a tough. They could easily go 2-4 in their first 6 games.
When we talk to
before the bye, then they go to the bye, then they go to San Francisco.
Right.
So they could easily be 2-5 in their first 7 games.
And that division's not easy this year. So we'll see. But are you taking Dak over Josh Allen still?
Same guy.
Yeah.
6 in one hand, half a dozen in the other. It's the same guy. They both have had no success in the playoffs, although Josh Allen's gone to the AFC Championship game and lost to Patrick Mahomes. But other than that, same thing. He get bounced every year. Joe Burrow gets him. Somebody gets him. Same thing with Dak Prescott. Great regular season numbers. Second MVP voting a year ago. I actually saw Dak on Saturday night. But the same guy. I'll either one of them, I'm taking either one. I'm fine with either one. Dak's not propped up quite the way Josh Allen is, though. I think Josh Allen is propped up a little bit more amongst personnel, people, fan base, things of that nature. Why, I don't know.
So, I'm a Panthers fan. We had Ron Rivera a couple months ago out here. What do we need to see Bryce Young improve and get better so we can get a leap in and get a better season, to be honest? Because
I don't know.
It's going to be rough.
I don't know about that team. I think my personal beliefs is smallish quarterbacks don't do well. And he's a smaller guy, and they put team talent around him. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't see where all of a sudden the Carolina Panthers and Bryce Young is going to be the top shit going in the NFL. I just don't.
Just give it some time.
Don't see
we'll get there. No, so speaking of quarterbacks, John Harbaugh had some high praise for Lamar Jackson. Take a listen to this.
The vision for Lamar Jackson, and it's a vision, it's something you see it like it's already happened. You can see it like it's already been done. The victory has already been won when you pour into a vision. And the vision that we have together is that Lamar Jackson is going to become and be known and be recognized as the greatest quarterback ever to play in the history of the National Football League.
So what's your response to that? Because, I'm like, I see Mahomes every year. You can't even say that, but you got to say that. So do you think Lamar can take them all the way this season? And
I actually do believe that they can win a Super Bowl with Lamar. Every year he's gotten better at everything, and every year his teams have gotten better and advanced even further. 2 years ago, he wasn't in the AFC Championship game. Last year, he was. 3 years ago, he wasn't in the divisional round. He was, so it's like every year they improve, they keep improving. I think eventually he'll get there and probably wind up winning multiple Super Bowls. He's got multiple MVPs. Now, will he go down as one of the greatest quarterback, the greatest quarterback in NFL history and all that sort of stuff? I don't know. I mean, he's young, he's got a long career. And he's got to start winning some Super Bowls to even have that conversation.
Yeah, because the guy that he has to play, he's a little different. But yeah.
There's only 4 quarterbacks in the National Football League today, currently, that plays on teams that have Super Bowls. And that's Matthew Stafford, that's Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, and I think Joe Flacco's on somebody's bench floating around.
On the Browns, right?
Somewhere. No, he was. Floating around on somebody's backup, and then you got Russell Wilson. That's it. So it's not like Matthew Stafford. There's like five guys that are currently on NFL rosters that have Super Bowl rings. So it's not, and the majority of the rings are Patrick Mahomes.
Right.
You know, you think Aaron Rodgers won 14 years ago. Russell Wilson won like 10 years ago. And now, you know, you look at Patrick Mahomes and then Joe Flacco, he won however many years ago that was, 10 years ago. So you just don't have the type of situation where if you can't, people got to figure out how to get past that man, Patrick Mahomes. Once you get past him, then everything else is gravy for you.
Yeah, but that's not an easy task, as we can all see. But
no,
that's not all I got. Thanks, I appreciate it. This was fun.
All right, happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
All right, that's a wrap for today's show. Thanks again to John for joining the show. Make sure to keep up with All Facts Pod on social media and subscribe on YouTube. Until then, peace. I'm Keyshawn. I'm out.